Okay, let's jump into another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Today, we're unpacking a real icon, the MiG-29 fighter jet. We've got some detailed sources here, technical descriptions, capability overviews, that kind of thing.
Standard stuff for this kind of aircraft.
Right. And our mission, really, just for you listening, is to look past the raw numbers and figure out why this jet, which first flew decades ago, is still seen as, well, a dangerous and relevant fighter today.
Yeah, and you can see the seeds of that right from the start, looking at its original design. It was purpose-built, optimized for, high-performance air combat, close-in.
High performance, like what specifically jumps out from the sources?
Speed and climb rate, definitely. The sources peg its top speed at Mach 2.25.
Mach 2.25, that's quite a bit faster than some of its contemporaries, like the F-16, around Mach 2, maybe 2.05.
Exactly. A noticeable difference. But like you said, speed isn't everything in a dogfight. That climb rate is also really emphasized.
How fast are we talking?
300 meters per second. Yeah. Think about that, getting altitude on an opponent super fast. That kind of vertical performance, plus its agility, that was central to how it was meant to be used. Close quarters.
And 300 meters, how does that stack up?
It's impressive. Some Western jets of that era were maybe more like 250, 260. So it's a definite edge there.
Okay, so raw performance is there, speed, climb, but you need weapons to actually, fight.
Oh, yeah. And it's not lightly armed. The sources mention 7 external hardpoints for weapons.
7. That allows for a pretty serious mix of ordnance, doesn't it?
It does. You can load it up with R-27s. Those are medium-range missiles for beyond a visual range, BVR combat.
Right, BVR.
Or you can carry a bunch of shorter-range missiles, things like the R-73 or the older R-60, perfect for the kind of close-in maneuvering we were just talking about.
Makes sense, capitalizing on the airframe strengths.
Exactly. And it's not purely air-to-air either. It can handle ground attack, unguided rockets, bombs, up to 3,000 kilos, according to the spec.
That's the gun, right?
Plus the internal 30-millimeter cannon, 150 rounds, for strafing or as a last resort in a dogfight. So, yeah, a versatile weapon set even back then.
But let's be honest, the original 80s version had its issues. Range, avionics, maybe not quite up to par with some Western counterparts at the time.
That's fair. And that's where looking at the later models becomes really important for understanding why it's still around and respected.
The upgrades.
Exactly. The sources detail a lot of continuous evolution, not just small tweaks either. We're talking new engines and many variants, better thrust, better fuel efficiency.
And the cockpit, I imagine, that must have changed.
Hugely. Modernized cockpits, glass displays, OTIs, hands-on throttle and stick controls. That drastically changes things for the pilot. Situational awareness, workload, much, much better.
Yeah, going from steam gauges to glass screens is a massive leap. What else? Sensors?
Key upgrades there too. Modern radar, of course, but also integrating things like IRSD, infrared search and track.
Passive detection. Very useful.
Very useful. Lets it find and track targets by heat without giving away its own position by using radar. Big deal in a modern electronic warfare environment.
And the range issue. Did they address that?
They did. Later models got more internal fuel capacity and, crucially, the ability to refuel in midair. That tackled the original range limitation head-on.
Okay, so let's sort of recap this for you. You start with this core design, amazing speed, climb rate, agility, armed to the teeth for different roles.
A solid foundation.
Right. Then you layer on decades of really significant upgrades. Better engines, modern pilot interface, advanced sensors like IRST, and fixing that range problem with more fuel and refueling.
It means the upgraded versions aren't just the old jet with extras bolted on. They're fundamentally more capable, true multi-role fighters.
So it's that combination.
Yeah.
The inherent strengths of the original design plus all the modern tech integrated over time.
Precisely. And that's why, even when you compare it to newer stealth fighters, the sources consistently describe upgraded MiG-29s as still being respected, still dangerous opponents. It has evolved.
It kept pace in its own way. It's that blend, isn't it? Foundational strength meets modern upgrades.
That sums it up well.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, here's something for you to think about. What is the fact that aircraft like the MiG-29 can stay relevant for so long through modernization? Tell us about the life cycle of military technology, especially when you compare it to how fast things seem to become obsolete in, say, consumer electronics or other tech fields. Something to ponder.